If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First off, it's free. And there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Then Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. Then you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor, ANCHOR.FM, and get started making your own podcast. Welcome to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks, where we offer our side of the issues. Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show. You can also listen to us on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please rate, like, review, subscribe, and share. And if no one else has told you today, we love you. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks. I'm Yummy.
And I am Dark Phoenix.
Okay, so what are we talking about today?
We're gonna take a little detour and talk about things that everybody think, but everybody's afraid to say. Everybody's thinking, you're thinking it, but nobody's saying it.
Somewhat taboo topics, I guess.
Taboo
that run through your mind.
Because I want you to tell me what makes something taboo.
What makes something taboo? I think something that people consider socially unacceptable to speak about publicly, something that makes people uncomfortable.
Can a taboo be a behavior?
A taboo can be a behavior. Very good point. Like picking your nose.
Words or behavior. What else makes it a taboo? Okay, so something that is socially unacceptable.
A minority view.
Okay.
Which, you mention that phrase a lot, like sometimes a minority view itself can be taboo just because few people have that view.
Give me an example just before we get into this.
Or for example, how under some select circumstances, I would consider dating a bisexual man.
Okay.
But that comment is super taboo and brought upon me lots of controversy. Because a man that has sex with men, especially in the Black community, even though lots of them do it, is considered taboo. It's still considered taboo.
So is that your first one?
That's not my first one.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So I just want to point out that according to, I was looking this up, and there's a podcaster. There's a podcast called but anyways, Talk About Talk. That's the name of it. Talk About Talk.
Okay.
And they say that a taboo for something to be a taboo, you have to consider the place, the time and history, the culture, the person, the setting, and the medium. Because maybe something that is taboo and poor etiquette to talk about or do in one setting may be like, say, shaking somebody's hand or looking somebody in the eye, that's the behavior that would be taboo in some cultures, but in other cultures completely acceptable. So just want to point that out.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Also, you could have topics that are taboo in a public setting but are not taboo in an intimate setting.
True. So what else you got? Anything else?
So since we're talking about, let's see, how about if you met somebody online, like on a dating app or just online, and they look one way, but when you saw them in person,
they've catfished you. When they catfish you?
Or even if it isn't like a full-blown catfish, but they just are not quite as cute as they were.
A little bit.
Yeah. A little shorter.
Oh, that's a deal breaker. But
what do you do?
What's taboo? You can't say you
can't be like you. You
damn thing,
you're a tiny little motherfucker. What do you say?
Are those hands even standard size?
I'm gonna tell you, I met this guy and I had met him online, so I hadn't really seen his body. He was like a big,
don't say
like
hips.
he looked. It was.
It wasn't hips, and I'm on the out. You know,
Thank
I'm
the
always on the
Lord.
hunt for hips because that's a
That's a
problem.
deal break.
That's a problem. Hips, I'm gonna do a 360 and rock right the fuck back
Yep.
out. Like
I'm
I
out.
can't.
Check, please.
Right, my bad, dog. So
That's a
no
no for me, dog.
That's a no for me, dog. One set of hips per couple, and I got them. So no. Right. So, but he had something that I realized happened where you know how basically your body is in 3 parts. You should have your upper body, your torso, and then your legs.
Okay.
He just had 2. your your legs and a torso. Like it was like he
no
had
in between?
it was no in between. It was like his chest just cut off and it started with legs.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not a bad thing.
It was bad.
Unless
and
he's
then
5 feet.
So he wasn't tall. That was the thing. He was not tall. His legs, so like his upper body would have probably fit on a man that was 6'4" to 6'5". This nigga was like 5'8".
Oh, no.
So his legs were short as fuck. Then he did not have a midsection. It was just like chest, legs.
Maybe he didn't have any definition in his midsection.
It was like somebody chopped off his mid torso
and put it on
and just it was.
What do you say to that? I mean, it's not polite to notice it, I guess.
I was floored.
Were you
because
turned off?
All the way, because then his shoulders were like mad broad, you know, just like
that's a good
broad
thing. He better have broad shoulders.
Not when his
you
legs
broad
were
shoulder,
probably
no middle having ass.
Boy, not when your legs could like fit on a 5-foot woman.
That's unfortunate. That's so like unfortunate.
Imagine like he looked like a football player, half of his body up top, no torso. He just went chest, leg. The legs were like the legs to go on a 5-foot woman. Then his chest was big as fuck. Big, broad.
That sounds like a deformity. But I'm gonna tell you, that's still better than hip. That's better than hip.
I don't know, because a motherfucker whose body does not have a third, I don't know.
You know who else is built like that? Ken Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has the worst. He has an unfortunate shape. My God.
Look at just going to show you can be an athlete and still
rapey ass.
Still right. Still not.
But you can't say that. These are things
you cannot.
But you can't.
What you gonna be like? I don't think we're gonna work because you have no middle. You ain't telling a nigga he ain't got no middle.
He already knows. I mean, nobody needs to say. Some things don't have to be said. He knows he ain't got no damn middle.
He knows he ain't got a middle.
What he's supposed to do? Say it. He's supposed to say it in his online profile.
By the way, I ain't got no middle.
Before we go another further, let me just tell you,
I ain't got no middle. Right? Maybe. Okay. What do you have?
Okay, so we're talking taboo things that everybody's thinking, but you can't say or nobody says. Have you ever had a friend who's like a complete whore, and you're like, damn, bitch, close your legs.
Close your legs. No, and yes, and I'll be trying to like be supportive and listen as a good friend.
Is that judgy? That's judgy. Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
That might be judgy.
No,
I don't want to be judgy. I don't want to be.
But sometimes you literally be like, you cannot be fucking another dude already.
No, not another.
You cannot be doing this.
We're in the double digits now. We're in the
of what I'm aware of. We're in the double. Like, I'm tired on behalf of your vagina.
And everybody knows. I mean, well, maybe not everybody, but at what point? Hopefully that behavior is starting to wane as you get, into a certain age range. Because you're supposed to kick it, I guess, like that when you're in your 20s and 19.
I don't know. Like Mo, the guest friend of the show, Mo.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have this one friend who her body count, she ain't playing. He calls her the old hoe.
No,
Yes, he calls her the old hoe.
not to her face though.
Not to her face. So I'm
Maybe-
just saying that
okay.
to say some people don't outgrow. Some people don't
Unfortunate.
outgrow this.
How
So, but I'm not telling nobody they a hoe.
I don't think it's my place.
I don't
I
either.
don't think it's my
I'm
place.
not. I'm not
Especially
even
if
gonna
you're
front.
grown.
I'm not even gonna front. I'm not gonna tell them.
What if they ask? What if they ask you something specific?
Oh,
Not about that,
I
but
still would tiptoe around.
why?
I don't know. I just don't
You
feel
just can't say it.
comfortable.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
feel
with you.
comfortable saying, because really though, that is a personal call. I mean, that's just my small little viewpoint. I don't fucking know. Maybe I don't get fucked enough. Maybe she's right.
Very, very true. And I would say I would go another step and say that goes to the previous point that you made about how millennials, the women, sometimes the young women play at this game of, hey, if they can do it, what's good for the goose, you know?
Right.
Maybe that is the old hoes mentality. You know what I'm saying?
This is true.
I think she's fooling herself, but
yeah,
you know, it's possible that she thinks
it's possible. And I'm just saying, for me, it don't feel right. But and also it has to do with what your options are. Now, if there was like a fucking Tyler Lepley and Idris Elba around every
You
corner,
like him. You
I'm
like
cracking it. I think this love.
You love him.
I love him.
You love him.
There would be no question. I'd be cracking his
Tyler,
legs
he's
open.
12. How old is he?
Probably
Is he 30?
12. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I talk so much shit about millennials, and I'm trying to crack his back. Come on.
Trying to get her
man.
back.
Boop. Come on, man. So what about bad breath?
Ooh.
Come on, man.
You're not a real friend. Don't call yourself a friend if you're not gonna tell that they have bad breath, especially when everybody knows it. Because bad breath is one of those things that it's not a perception thing. It's not like, hey, well, maybe so-and-so's breath is not bad to anybody else but me. No, everybody can smell that. Everybody with a sniffer can smell that.
All right, so I'm not good at this kind of stuff. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. I'm not
body odors.
I'm not good at breaking this type of stuff to people. I'm not.
How
it's
close
not
you
my
are
ministry.
To them.
It's
not your
my
assignment.
ministry. It's not. I'm not good at it. I mean,
nobody's good at it. It's taboo is it taboo to say anything, or is it taboo to think?
It's both, right? You're true. Because I would want, I guess, somebody to say something. Do you remember we were in college and this dude liked you? He was a friend of ours.
He had bad breath.
His breath was rough.
Yeah. Ooh, your breath is kicking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody told him.
Yeah,
nobody told him.
Because you're not supposed to say that type of thing.
Right, because it's like you just go around letting them offend everybody.
Dang it. So you're part of the problem. You're part of the fucking problem.
Part of the problem.
You're complicit.
You're complicit. So I have a friend, she said she was dating this guy who had bad breath. And his breath was so bad that he sucked her breast. And even when he was done, her titty kept stinking.
That is
Lord. I'm like, I would have had to put my breast down in some boiling water after that. That is like, what?
That's pretty bad.
She said, she was like, I gotta go do something for my mama and pull it out of the hole. I'm like, your breath is so bad that you left somebody's nipple stinking after you left.
Let me tell you something, men. For a woman to decline a good nipple suck because of bad breath, your shit got to be foul.
The toxic Avenger is.
I mean, we were talking about letting the machine suck our shit last time. That's bad, guys. I don't know what to do about that though. I guess you just can't say that. Yeah. You just gotta let it be somebody else's problem, because you're not saying it. I'm not saying it to him.
She didn't tell him. She came up with she said it was 2:00 in the morning. She said she had to go. Her mother was locked out of her house and she had to go let her mama in. She still did not say.
I gotta do that thing.
I gotta, that one thing.
I gotta wash my, hair.
Retch around and then. Yeah, so
that's bad.
It's definitely bad.
Taboo. Yep, taboo. You can't say anything about that. What about, have you ever talked to someone who keeps rambling and you're like,
my God,
does this fucking story have a point?
Oh, oh my gosh. Oh my God.
You get to the mean potatoes, because
Often. Often.
Sometimes it's a family member. I'm just saying. No, but you
Yeah.
can't say that.
What do you do? Right. You just gotta like suffer through it, especially if it's a family member that you actually care about.
Would you even say, is there in under what circumstances, are there any circumstances would you say that to someone? This, like, does this story have a point? Or is it always impolite to go there?
I think it's always
We are a culture of politeness, aren't we?
We are.
Fuck being polite.
We really are.
that.
And we suffer and suffer
Fuck
through it.
that.
But so like what should you say? Should you say what's the conclusion?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lead the cause. I'm just saying, fuck the that's not my ministry either. I'm polite to a fault. I'm too polite at times. So I ain't gonna change overnight. But I do think that politeness in general, etiquette and being polite, I have a fundamental problem with the whole polite and civility. Because I think it's all fake. People talk about you behind your back. What's worse? Right. Talk about somebody behind their back or say something that could possibly help them to their face, even though it might hurt in the moment. Like medicine, you know?
I've heard of people like with hygiene, people that have hygiene challenges where they will anonymously leave a note or anonymously leave gum or deodorant.
That's which fucked up.
Which may be worse because it's kind of like you're looking at everybody like damn.
Like damn, everybody. Now I know everybody. I thought I could only smell myself.
Right.
I thought nobody else could smell me. Now I know y'all all can. Oh Lord. That's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
I would not want that. That's why I need people to, if you are close to me, just give it to me straight. It's gonna hurt either way, but I need to know.
You know what, I wish I really had a real solution for this. I just don't know.
Under what circumstances would you violate the taboo? So we know that culture, generations, taboos can be different based on your generation, with generations, right. Just like you talked about millennials versus other generations, the setting. Under what circumstances do you or seemingly violate the taboo of another generation or another culture?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I think that Americans sometimes get the reputation of being harsh, but in fact, Americans are on the really polite side of things, even with somewhat of our decay of our culture. Also, we actually are. If you compare us to
who?
Europeans,
like what? Tell me
Europeans
more.
Are raw. Like Japan reminds me of America probably in the 1950s, like on point. Mm-hmm. And so even though we have deviated some, still our core is still very polite.
Because I heard the Japanese be groping chicks on the subway.
Well, you might get hunched a little, but they even polite.
That's kind of rude. I mean,
they polite.
I mean, young girls getting groped they're polite about that.
Yeah, they're polite about it, but that's not a good representation of Japanese culture. Like the Japanese are probably the most polite culture on earth, I would argue.
I would say
but
that,
So what if you're with a man that either is not very good in bed or has a really small penis? Do you tell him?
No.
I know.
No, you don't tell him. You just never go there again.
Right. You just don't
get your
do it
shit
again.
And you know that this is the last time
you'll ever. You just don't do it.
Let it be somebody else's problem. Because it's you don't want to destroy the person. You don't want to destroy them.
Right.
You can destroy a person.
Maybe we're not the best people to talk about this topic because we're just like, just don't tell them no matter what.
Save yourself. Get the hell out of there.
Run.
don't and never go back.
Them. Right. Don't do it now. Don't do it again. But don't tell them. But you know what? I often talk about how terrible men are in bed and such. But like, if nobody's telling them, is that fair?
Somebody else's. It's somebody else. Yeah, it's somebody else's problem now. I don't. It's not your job to help him in that way. I don't think, unless you're gonna marry him. I mean,
right.
It's not your job. Just be kind. To me, that is the time to be kind. If you're gonna be kind, that would be the time.
Because you don't want the responsibility of crushing a person. At least I don't want the responsibility of like just destroying a person's self-esteem or
because there's nothing he could do. Well, there's something he could do if he can't, if he's no good in bed, there's something he can do about that. There's nothing he can do about his small penis. So why bring that up?
He knows it.
He knows it. He should have said something before we got to this point. Like, give me a heads up. Shit. Like,
warning.
don't let me just come in here like like it's looking like a don't get me started. Yes, he should have said something to warn me. That's like I heard a comedian say, if you are missing a toe or some shit like that, don't let me find out when we're getting undressed to have sex. I don't want to find that out then. Like, I'm gonna be mortified. Let me know ahead of time.
Just
you have
say
something going on.
Just say something.
I want to say I want to talk about something that I know is unpopular and it's not. It's not polite. And I know that it's taboo. I want to talk about 45s not being easy on the eyes. Number 45.
Bite?
No. The other one. The
Trump?
previous. Yes. He is 45, right?
Yeah, because Barack was 44.
He is not easy on the eyes. He's not attractive.
Damn. You ain't playing.
He is not. I'm sorry. I know y'all all thinking it. You're all thinking it.
Whoa.
He has a fucking comb over, which is not in and of itself make him unattractive. But that does contribute to it. Like, if you would just cut that, do something, make that look nice, shape that up or something. Right. And that might help you look better. And the reason why I want to point that out is because, ironically, this is the dude who would notoriously try to shame women for the way they look. Yeah. Now, is this the most ugliest motherfucker ever? Calling out people for, I'm like, how? And you look like body. His body is he has hips. He has hips. He's had an unfortunate build. Yeah. He has an unfortunate build. And it's just, right. I'm saying it. And I know it's not, I know everybody's thinking it. Y'all just won't say it. He's not easy on the eyes.
And then he has like those freaky white teeth, fake looking teeth.
I ain't never seen this. I think he looked like he had chiclet teeth to me. I've never even seen has he ever even smiled with his teeth?
It's usually like a scowl when you see him.
Like a clown.
Right. Right. It's not like an actual real smile. That's true.
He's not easy on the eyes. I'm just saying
especially as much shit as he always talks about.
Yes. I'm not saying that he could never be or never was, but by the pictures that I've seen of him, even when he was much younger, he was never easy on the eyes. He was always like, close one eye to look at that motherfucker. He is like, oh, I think I'm blind now. Don't look him straight in the face. Yeah.
Wow. I always look at Melania and think, girl.
Get out of there, girl.
Girl, your home country must have been just treacherous for you to come over here and let that motherfucker climb up on you.
At least one. We know once that we know of, and I bet you it never happened again because she probably was repulsed. She had a perpetual scowl as well. Like, yuck, y'all see this mom? Yeah. She's like, look at him.
Can you believe this shit?
Now, normally I don't. I want to make a disclaimer. Normally I do not make commentary on people's looks because there's always somebody who the way that person looks. But in this case, I made an exception because that person is so free with his critiques of other people's looks. So I just want to make it nerves. Yes.
Have you ever had a situation with a friend where their partner or husband flirts?
Friend, not a friend, but I've seen that before. Yes. I don't know if it's been a friend. Would you say something?
Yeah.
I think that's one that, I don't know. That one that depends. If I'm Solange and the friend or other person is my sister, I'm gonna say something.
Right.
But I might kick his ass in the elevator. But I don't know. I don't know that there's ever a good. Okay. At the end of the day, I feel like if you are going to be interacting with that person regularly, and this is something that can help, and there's a way that you can, you can say, you don't have to be like, come, vomit. You don't have to word vomit on it. If it's gonna help them, and they're looking like a fool or something like that, then I think it's your obligation to say something.
But in those situations, you tend to end up being the villain often.
True.
There's the greatest risk for that. However, that's one situation where there's a greater tendency for me to actually say something.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that situation, but I consider this would be similar to that, where if I know someone's dude cheat, there's a better chance of me being like, okay, listen.
Yeah, because you got to be, if you care about the person, then you are willing to accept, on some level, you're willing to accept the wrath or the backlash backlash because it's hard. It's harder for you to accept not having given them the information than it is for you
Right.
to not give them information and let them find out some other kind of way.
Yeah.
You and it's that. So, I mean, in those cases, somebody who is your friend, sister, cousin, you know, somebody that's close to you, you're not supposed to normally, but under those circumstances, I'd say, yeah, you got to do it. You got
Yeah.
to do it. Find a way. What?
Now
what
that
if-
I'd like to know.
yeah, tell me, please. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt either way.
Yeah, no matter what. But
Mm-hmm.
okay. What about men that have had homosexual experience in the past?
What about it?
Should they share that information?
Hell to motherfucking yes. Yes.
Yes.
And then I'll be exit stage left.
Wow. So like what's the actual reason? Like why exit? Like what?
It turns me off. It turns me off. It's almost like I'm trying to think. Is there a comparison? It's like I said, it's like finding out somebody is your cousin or brother or something. It turns me off. It's like buckets of cold water.
Wow, just a no.
But I think he should disclose that. I think that he should.
I think that's fair.
Is that considered taboo to say that something like that?
That's taboo. And they say that, especially Black men say that it's taboo and they don't say it because they know the views of Black women. Because Black women are like, shit, if you've done that, there's nothing happening. So they don't say anything or they lie about it.
That's more than taboo to me. That's beyond taboo.
Think so?
I think that's beyond taboo. That's not even a matter of being taboo. That's just a matter of being honest and forthright. You know,
Yeah.
It's different to talk about etiquette. To me, things that matters of etiquette and being polite are not the same as disclosing critical information that can help me make a choice about whether I want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else. Like hair weave.
That's true. Or eyelashes.
I
that part right there.
hair weave. I'm gonna let you know. These ain't my real nails.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
Don't disown me.
Okay, so one more thing I have. So here's something that everybody, I think, well, I don't know, maybe this is just me. I imagine that everybody thinks this. Maybe they don't think this. But when you run into an old acquaintance and you kind of lead with, oh, it's so great to see you, or you end with, oh, it's so great to have run into you. It wasn't great to run into them.
Right. Right. But I tell that lie. I definitely tell that lie. So good to see you.
I don't even want to see you. I was trying to avoid you when I saw you, but I had to go past you on the way
this
out.
area. I couldn't avoid you, so here I am. Hey.
Is that more of a just being? Is that a personality thing more than it is? You know, maybe that's just
stuck
me.
up. I don't know. That shit gets on my nerves. So
introverted, not stuck up. Introverted.
Yeah, introverted. Like it gets on my nerves. So like I have people that I worked with years ago, and we weren't even friends per se.
There you go. Right
but
there.
They still be like trying to like FaceTime me and
there
shit.
There you go. Are you serious?
I'm serious. I'm like, what?
Fucking FaceTime. Don't you ever.
Don't
ever. Don't even
ever.
accidentally click on FaceTime. Don't you ever FaceTime me. Fucking
what
no.
Is this? What? I don't know what we're talking for. Not to mention face. I mean, I'm just for real.
I don't want you to even dial the numbers, much less press the FaceTime button.
We're not fucking.
You never spoke to me.
We're not.
You were very indifferent to me when I was there every day, and now all of a sudden.
And all of a sudden
know what's going on with me? No.
How? That shit just I don't get it. And I guess I should be like, why are you called? Why? I just don't understand. Why would people? I haven't even been in the same vicinity as you in like 6 years. And even when I was, we were not friends.
I'm partially tongue in cheek there. I love seeing people that are doing well and, run into them. But sometimes, in those cases when they're like, acting like we were so super cool. But I do have one more. I'm sorry. I said that was my last one, but I do have one more. Is it ever okay if a friend or a family member has a parent that's batshit crazy? Can you say that to them? Like, your mama crazy. If your mama's a damn fool.
If it's a boyfriend, I think you can.
Oh, you can? I don't know.
I think you kind of have to after a while. If you've been with that person for years.
Not if you want to get married, because that's still his mama.
Oh. shit. But you gotta be like, I mean, I wouldn't say your mama is batshit crazy, but I would be like, now, I don't think your mother is
She's
completely,
She's not what?
she's not stationed here on earth all the time, you know. I mean, because you
That
can't
makes
be with
it better.
somebody for years and not say nothing.
You don't think he knows? Or maybe does he know?
But no, some people don't listen. I got people in my own family we have family members who are not stationed on earth all the time. And they be like, well, I'm like, the fuck? What you mean? Well, you can still love a person, but still be like, that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? A reaction or whatever is not
Can you say
acceptable. I have, only because in those type of situations, it's like it's not like people you casually know. You can't get away from your family. You know what I'm saying? It's
Very
like
true.
that shit is going to impact you repeatedly. So you have to say what you're saying does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. And we have to embrace this because it's a slippery slope. If you don't,
motherfucking slope.
You will look up and aliens will be running around and you will think it's normal.
Preach it.
So you have to, for your own sanity, for certain things,
girl.
you have to call a thing a thing.
Call
and
a
that's
thing
just,
girl.
like Iyanla says. And that's just practicing some marginally good mental health. Okay. You know, you don't have to love people any less, but it's important to stay grounded in reality.
Oh, message.
Right. That's it. And but people don't like that shit. Don't get me wrong. People don't like it, but they don't have to like it. But I know this. I've lived long enough to know it's a thin line between sanity and insanity.
Girl,
it's not a far difference. It's not a big distance. Okay. So you got to hold on to your sanity. And sometimes that includes calling a thing a thing.
Calling a thing, a motherfucking thing.
Call it
I'm
a
here
thing.
for it. Yes.
You can proceed as normal, but you need to call it. Let's understand what this is, though. And
you
move
spoke
forward.
my heart. You spoke my heart. You spoke my heart. My
listen, girl, you be surprised the enemies I get just from that alone. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get them because I have to stay grounded in reality to varying degrees. I have to. You may not need to, but I'm telling you what I need.
That's what I'm talking about. I fucks with you. I fucks with
okay.
you.
Okay. Come on, man. Come on. Fuck out of here. And, you know, I tell my son this. I'm like, when I get old, don't do me no damn favors. I start talking crazy. Pull me to the side. I'm giving you permission right now. Tell me to calm down. Right. Calm down. Shit,
Mama,
if I start going old lady crazy, don't do me no motherfucking favor. Don't look at me like mom, because if I was in my right mind, I wouldn't do that shit. All right.
You better talk about it.
So no, don't do me no motherfucking favor. Keep it real. Don't inconvenience your life if I'm somewhere acting nutty. No, put me in a proper facility and help if that's what it is. And you enjoy yourself because the woman that I know that I am that loves you wants you to live your best.
Amen.
Don't you sit around. Nah.
I pray that we can keep our right minds as long as possible.
I pray too. I pray too.
But some people don't need to get old to be just like gone.
They started out gone.
Started out that way. And people let them get away with it. And I think that's the problem. It's things that it's taboo to say, hey, you know, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
It's taboo to say that.
You offended. How the fuck you offended when you talking as crazy as you talking? And you offended? You have the ability to claim offense. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. No, I'm not doing it. That I won't do. Now that's where my polite civility tendencies end.
It ends.
When a motherfucker walk around here like on Mars, I'm like, what you gonna do is you gonna come on back down here on Earth when you fuck around with me.
I was gonna say, at least if you're gonna be around me, or if I'm gonna be around, I gotta be able to say, this is a little bit weird.
Do you? But I'm just telling you, I am going to continue to embrace reality as I see it because it's important for me. It's just as important for me. I need it.
It's how I'm set up.
Because it's a slippery slope.
It totally is.
Yeah. So that's a taboo. That one right there ain't a problem for me. I'm like, if that impacts my life, I'm gonna let you get a few of them off. Then. Here we go.
Hey, you are evolved, my sister.
Listen.
I don't know if everybody getting down like that.
Listen. Well, it is what it is. So, yeah. So you got anything else?
That's that's enough for now. I think
I
that's enough.
think so. Boys and girls, that is our time. And we so appreciate you listening and supporting the podcast.
Indeed.
Please follow us on
At Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook.
everywhere. So thanks again. And we hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving holiday. And we will holla at y'all next week. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, review, subscribe, and share. It helps other listeners find us. And don't forget to follow us at Yummy Fearless on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and even Pinterest, where you'll find additional content from today's show and also our highly curated He Can Get It list. As always, you can listen to the Yummy and Fearless podcast with the Side Chicks on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if no one else has told you today, we love you and thank you so much for listening.